First part of the inspection basically is a look around the steading, just to see what kind of things could potentially cause pollution. We're not always looking for the bad things, we're looking for good practice as well. So what we do is we'll point out anywhere which is things like any structures that contain and collect effluent, so things like slurry stores and silage pits with tanks. And then we'll also look at areas, things like water downpipes and drains and that kind of stuff, just to make sure they're not discharging onto areas which is mixing up with mud and muck and that kind of stuff, just so it doesn't discharge into water courses. It's quite a simple, straightforward bit of the inspection. So we'll just have a wander around every now and again. I'll make a note of the kind of things that we're seeing on the steading. If there's any issues, we'll have a bit of a chat about it. Okay. So you got some silage bales stored here. Where's the nearest water course to this?
Oh, about 200 metres to the west.
Excellent, that's what we want to see. Basically, the minimum distance from a water course you can store bales is 10 metres. And we're basically looking at them to make sure that they are impermeable, you haven't got any brie coming out of them, which is a fine example here, and they're not stacked too high, which is great to making them crushed at the bottom. So that's brilliant, good stuff. Excellent.
Very good.
So if this was still the silage pit as a loose silage pit, we'll be looking to make sure it's got an impermeable surface, a channel around the front to make sure then the effluent gets collected in an effluent tank, and making sure the floors are nice and impermeable with a good concrete lay on it, this is fine. So would you have sheeted the outside,
Walls have been sheeted,
yeah.
Top would have been sheeted, and we just cut back once a week the sheet as per required silage, and effluent tank is just beyond your car there.
Yeah.
It was emptied as and when required, and as you can see there's a ramp going back into the silage pit there and a channel with a pipe in it, so no effluent escaped.
Yeah, but this year you've decided to go to the bales.
Management reasons we went for bales this year.
Excellent.
This is our red diesel tank here, fully banded stowage tank.
Good stuff, that's the kind of thing we're looking for. Not these old style tanks which are single skinned and just made out of metal and that kind of stuff. Just a little quick thing, hoses and that kind of stuff, they should be contained within the bund.
Should be inside.
Yeah, so just make up on that. But other than that, that's great. Do you keep it locked in, that kind of stuff, when you're not using it?
It's normally under lock and key, yeah.
Brilliant. Excellent. Good stuff, excellent.
Okay.
We just have a quick stop here.
Yeah.
So what's this area normally used for?
Absolutely nothing. Sometimes we walk livestock from the fields into the stadium here, but otherwise absolutely nothing.
Aye, so if
it's hard to scrape because there's cattle bulls standing here and they made a wee bit of a mess.
Aye,
but it's not used for anything.
That's good, because again even though it's only used temporarily and that kind of stuff, we'll still be looking for anywhere that anything could run off if it was to get wet while you're using it. But there's no surface water drains really anywhere near here, and it's well scraped back, and all the mud. Where did midding go off to a midden, does it?
Everything goes off to a field midding.
Brilliant, excellent.
But there's never anything down here. It's just an access point to the stadium.
Brilliant. Just as I'm looking through the yard, it's quite a tidy yard, which is it's great. It's good to see good practice in place, which is good. First things I like to notice is things like these roof drains and the down drains, all tied straight into the concrete. Because one of the biggest pollution problems is when you've got these drains which are just discharging water onto the yard, because that can take anything from it, especially when you've got bedded areas nearby, because it means any brie is going to get mixed up with the water, and then that'll eventually find its way to a surface water drain. But it's great that you've got good practice here, which is brilliant. And also looking at the top, it's all in good condition, it's all well maintained, so you're not going to get, basically the idea is to keep as much clean water clean and separate from the yards and that kind of stuff as possible. So as soon as you get tied in drain pipes, concrete round the bottom of the down pipes, basically means you've got less chance of anything getting into the drains that you don't want to, which is great stuff. Brilliant. A great example of the kind of thing we're looking at when it comes to a shed with livestock in it. You've got a really good floor, so it means cleaning up is easier and that kind of stuff. You've got the well bedded, and there's no effluent escaping from the channels and that kind of stuff. So where does this channel run to? That
goes into our wastewater treatment.
Okay.
Which goes into a reed bed.
Right.
On the other side of the stadium.
Brilliant.
So it goes through three phases of a reed bed before it's discharged into a field drain.
Yeah. And this is the
SEPA approved.
Yeah. And this is the kind of thing you can keep an eye on quite easily as well, isn't it? Because it's nice and visible. What we don't want to be seeing is these channels choked up with debris, muck, or whatever it may be, because if you can't see it, you don't know if there's a problem in there. So it's good to see that it's nice and clear. You can see the feed pass is nice and clear as well, so you obviously got a good level of maintenance and management in the building here, which is great. An area here just draining to a drain there. It's a nice clean area of the yard, that kind of stuff. So what kind of activities are going on this area here?
It's just vehicles driving, pedestrians walking.
Yeah.
There's no livestock activity out here
Yeah.
at all.
That's fine.
We have the only time we have livestock activity is if we walk bulls from a field, and that's on the other side of the stadium.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Livestock never walk through here.
That's good. So that kind of stuff goes discharges to your
That goes
sud system as well.
That goes into the SED system as well.
That's perfect. I think that's about it for the steading.
That's outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what's going to happen now is it all right if I just have another wander around and take a
Yeah.
couple of photographs by myself, if
Yeah,
that's all right?
yeah, that's fine.
And then I'll wander off into the fields. I'll give you a ring when I'm done in the fields, but it'll probably take me about an hour and a half to do your farm, and then I'll come back and meet up with you at the end.
That's fine.
Good.
And you'll show me the photos.
And I'll show you the photographs, and we'll go through the report and that kind of stuff, and we'll come up with if they find any issues, we'll come up with a kind of a plan to go about how to rectify these kind of things.
Okay.
Right, brilliant. I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you in a bit.